Hi, this is Jay with the Oregon Fly Fishing Blog. We're going to do a fun little hollow deceiver here, and this is a list of our materials. They're all available online with the links below. So using my trusty Ahrex Predator hook, I've got it in the vise there, and I've got a little bit of super glue on this material because I'm using GSP, and it's really slippery stuff. Now, when I get this right, I've got all those fibers just perfectly aligned, and they spin around the hook, but this is, I didn't quite get it right this time, but, we have to adapt as we go. And this tail, it's bucktail tail. It's a little bit shorter than I would use with longer feathers. But this is going to be a fairly short deceiver. So instead of the flat wing saddles, I'm using strung saddle hackles. And I just got a clump of the darn things and cut the butts off and lashed them on. I'm adding super glue at many stages here. So got them on. Now I'm doing my first hollow station. And sometimes my bucktail will spin around really nicely, but sometimes it just doesn't. So in this case, by the way, I'm trying to show you what really happens as we tie flies. This time it did not spin around the way I wanted it to. So I turned the fly over, added another clump underneath. So it's just a fact of life that with these larger flies I'm tying more recently, I'm using a lot of super glue, and I'm convinced by experience with a lot of ocean fish that it makes a big difference. So I'm pushing against this bucktail. I'm working it. This is not like tying a size 20 Adams. This is a material you have to work with and flex and push and coax it into place. Now, of course, rather than wrapping over the bucktail, I'm using how would I describe it? It's a thread dam. I wrap the thread up against the bucktail to push it back and let it hold its shape. Here I go with another hollow station, and this time the bucktail, it spun around quite nicely. Made me much happier. I'm doing a little bit of trimming here. You will find as you're tying these flies, you can trim more or less of the butts free. You can put dubbing between the stations. You can put pearl flat braid or tinsel. I find from a practical standpoint, making very good fishing flies and good looking flies, I don't need to do that. So I don't. These flies take a lot of time to produce, and I don't like to prolong the process. So here we go. We're working into this hollow station. I should actually be using the smaller size of the John tool there. So here we go. We're getting up towards the front of the fly, and this becomes an area where you have to make choices about, am I going to add another hollow station or not? So here I've moved into a Chartreuse. I've got that lashed down on my hook quite nicely. Butts flared a little bit, and that's predominantly on top. A little bit on the sides. I'm going to put in a clump of deer hair, again tied forward in the hollow style, to act as a belly on this fly. And you can tell right away here that I'm not close enough to the head for this to be the final part of the fly. So there are times when you won't. Yeah, I take a big deep breath there to explain this. You just won't know until you get up towards the front of the fly. Now, if you've just tied 50 of these, you're going to know exactly where you are and exactly how many stations. But when you're tying fewer than that, you be prepared to adapt. So I chose to put nice Chartreuse back on this fly here and a white belly. And now I'm going to put in some flow blue bucktail to finish it off. And that flow blue is on top of the fly. And one thing I'll mention that I really haven't been using flash in this fly. There are places and times, and the fish behave at certain times where they really don't care for flash, and they don't react well to it. So I've tied this fly without flash. Flow blue back, Chartreuse belly, the Pro Sport Fisher G3 jungle cock, and I've got my blue Copic marker to put that nice flow blue color on the GSP. I'll darken it up a little bit there. And then I'm going to finish this fly off. This is a great fly. Salmon, you name it. Brown trout, Chinook, silvers. I'm sure it would work for stripers. You name it. You look at this thing, it's going to push water. It's going to undulate. Have fun with this. Give it a try. Adapt the colors as you wish. And most of all, have a good time out there. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again soon, I hope.